Hey everyone, welcome to Read Through the Word, April 9th. I'm Wendy Pope, and it's a joy to sit down with you today and talk about our reading. We are going to take our lesson from the first part of, let me see if I can get to the right day. How about that? For the first part here from the very beginning of our lesson, or of our reading between 1 Samuel chapter 1, verse 9 through 18. That whole section there. This has always been just a beautiful story to me. It's this story of Hannah and her desire to be a mom. There was a period in my life where I totally could identify with Hannah, and perhaps there are some other gals on the other side of the screen that feel that way as well. And so my heart goes out to you today if you are feeling an anguish like Hannah felt. I know that anguish, and my heart is sensitive to you today. Please know that. Hannah shows how we can regain the joy of fellowship in the house of the Lord again by pouring out our heart before the Lord and by receiving His word with faith. I love this piece, this small little verse. In verse 18, we see this huge transition before we get to 18. In yesterday's reading, we closed out the reading with the story of Hannah wanting to be a mom and going to the temple again. Year after year, it was the same. And whether or not you are in the same place that Hannah is in her life at this time, or whether your life is the same year after year in another way, and your heart is broken because of another reason, I love what Hannah shows us here, and I almost missed it. Honestly, I almost missed it. I was reading over and over again this section of text, and I was like, Lord, what am I missing here? I knew this is where He wanted us to camp out for a few minutes today, and what am I missing here? And then we get to verse 18, and we see this transition, Hannah's transition, where we see these words, she was no longer sad. I don't know if you've ever been in a place where year after year it was the same. And maybe there wasn't a total sadness over every part of your life and you weren't consumed by sadness and grief and sorrow, but perhaps there's a little portion of your life that it just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. It's the same thing every day, every year. It's the same thing, God. I've talked to you about this before. You know the desire of my heart, and nothing is changing. Have you had those thoughts? Those thoughts like Hannah? That year after year, it's the same. And I love that Hannah is no longer sad in this moment. Watch Hannah throughout this story, please. Watch how she honors God and honors this vow that she made to God in her anguish. We've talked a lot about vows and how important they are, and it's better not It's better to not make a vow than to make one and not keep it. God takes them serious. We saw this whole thing played out in this vow that Jephthah took back in Judges. We know the importance of that. And Hannah honored this. She honored God. I can't wait for you to, if you haven't read this story completely, for you to read it. And I pray that if you have read it, you are going to read it with fresh eyes. But I want us to focus on this today. I feel so strongly that someone is sad today. I've been there. I've been there where it just seems that every day is the same. I wake up and nothing has changed. And I'm just sad. I go through life. I do my things. I teach. I write. I minister. I wash dishes. I wash clothes. I laugh. I enjoy times with my husband and my children and my dog. But there's just a sadness in me. And it lasted, goodness, for well over a year. And I honestly look back now and didn't realize I was in this depression. And I love that God is near to those who are crushed in spirit and those who are brokenhearted. I love that. Please know that if you are sad today, that God is near you. He is close to the brokenhearted. Hold on to that, please. I did not include that verse because the Holy Spirit is just pressing that upon me. It's Nehemiah 1:7, and I don't have it memorized. I wish I did, and I don't have my phone with me, or I would be looking it up while I'm talking to you. Do I? No, I don't. Look up Nehemiah 1:7, please. But how was Hannah no longer sad? What did she do? She prayed to the Lord. Wendy, I pray to the Lord all the time. Look how Hannah prayed. She prayed in deep anguish and bitterly cried out to God. Have you done that? You may be saying, yeah, I have done that. Nothing's changed. Then don't stop. Year after year, things were the same for Hannah. But then they weren't. And as I sat down here today to do our lesson, I had these 2 points, and I was reading this verse again and reading this quote from David Guzik, and noticed this last little piece. She poured out her heart before the Lord, and she received the word with faith. She received the word that Eli spoke to her. Eli said, then go back. Eli said, may the God of Israel. I guess it would help if I put my glasses on. I'm sorry, y'all. She explains, of course, she's not drunk. She says, I'm not drunk. I've been praying out of great anguish and sorrow, she says. And he says, in that case, go in peace. May the God of Israel grant the request you have asked of him. So she received the word. Oh, friend, today, our answer to our sorrow is to pray to God to pour out our heart bitterly in anguish and sorrow to him, and ask for a word from him, and keep asking until you receive it. It might come in a song. It might come in a text from a friend. It might come in some cool little designed meme that someone says, hey, I thought of you. I wanted to send it to you. That encouragement might come that way. It might come from walking outside and picking a flower. It might come from spending time with your pet. It might come, I'm pointing to my pet because my dog's right there. It might come from sitting down and watching a show that just warms your heart, and the Lord speaks through the show. But receive the word that he sends. Wendy, I don't know how to receive the word. Just be close to God. Stay close to God through prayer and through the word, and you'll receive it and you'll know it. You'll know his voice. You'll know his comfort. You'll know his touch. Receive it and you will no longer be sad. I know that. I know that. Because I know God is the God of all comfort. And I know that because he has greatly comforted me. We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.